Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. So we've already looked at how to write ratios, but this time we already know the ratio and we're going to use that to find an amount of something. So let's first look at an example. So we'll have a look at this question here. So at a school, the ratio of boys to girls is 11 to 6. There are 440 boys at the school. How many students in total? So of course, to find how many students in total, we need to find how many girls there are. So as I said before, this is an example where we already know the ratio and we're using it to find an amount. So we know that the ratio of boys to girls is 11 to 6. So make sure you get them in the right order. Boys is 11, girls is 6. Now, as you probably already know, ratios are just basically another way to write fractions. So I could write this ratio, 11 to 6, as 11 over 6. Now, what we're doing here is we're trying to find an equivalent ratio where boys is 440. So that's like finding an equivalent fraction like this, 440, and we have to find what number goes on the bottom. So when we're finding equivalent fractions, you know that I can do whatever I want to the top number as long as I do the same thing to the bottom number. So I have to figure out what I've done to get from 11 to 440. So we're always talking dividing or multiplying. I can't add whatever I want to the top of the fraction. I can't just add 2 to the top and bottom. It won't be the same fraction. I have to multiply or divide. So how do I get from 11 to 440? By multiplying or dividing. Well, 440 divided by 11 is 40. So I've times the top by 40, so I have to also times the bottom by 40. And that's the same with ratios. I think, what have I done to get from here to here? I've times by 40. So again, I'm only considering multiplying and dividing. So to get an equivalent ratio, I also have to times the other number by 40. So 6 times 40 is 240. So this 440 to 240 is an equivalent ratio to 11 to 6. So I've answered my question. There are 440 boys at the school and 240 girls, so you just add them together and you get 680 students. So therefore, there are 680 students at the school, 440 are boys, 240 are girls, and that means that the ratio of boys to girls is 11 to 6. So again, we're just looking at equivalent ratios here. So this is exactly the same way I would solve a problem if someone said 11 to 6 equals 440 to g and find the value of g. It's exactly the same thing. Let's just do a couple more. So let's have a look at these questions here, and they're essentially the same as the questions that I've just done. So I want to use both of these ratios to find a pronumeral. So I have 7 to b equals 14 to 30. So what is true about equal signs is it doesn't matter in which order you write something. If you write x equals 2, that's the same as 2 equals x. So I think it's easier to understand if you write the ratio with the pronumeral on the right-hand side. So I can write this as 14 to 30 equals 7 to b. Then using the principles I just went through, I have to look at how I get from this first number to this first number. I could minus 7, but again, I only consider multiplying and dividing because these are like fractions. So how do I get from 14 to 7? I divide by 2. So if I do that with the first number, I have to do the same here. I have to go from 30 to b by dividing by 2. So b is just 30 divided by 2, which is 15. So I think it's always easier if the ratio with the pronumeral is on the right-hand side. And whatever you did to the first number in each ratio, you have to do the second number in each ratio. So let's do the next one here. So first number is 8, and the first number in the second ratio is 28. So how do I get from 8 to 28? So 28 divided by 8 is 3.5. So I've times by 3.5. So then to get from 21 to x, I should also times by 3.5. So x is just 21 times 3.5, which is 73.5. It doesn't always have to be a whole number, because here we're not necessarily simplifying a ratio, we're just finding an equivalent ratio. All right, so I've just got to do one more thing, showing you how to divide quantities in a given ratio. So please pause and copy down if you need any of these examples. So now we're going to look at a quantity, in this case $300, and we're going to divide it in a ratio. So if Liam and Oliver win $300 for a project, perhaps Liam worked on it for 3 hours and Oliver worked on it for 5 hours, they're going to divide their winnings in the ratio 3:5. So again, this is a case where we know the ratio, but we need to use that to find a quantity. So 3:5 for the ratio, hopefully you already know that these are parts. We're dividing it into parts. So Liam, he's first, he was written first, and Oliver's second. So Liam gets 3 parts and Oliver gets 5 parts. So what I'm doing is I'm taking $300 and I'm dividing into 8 parts. So first we need to figure out how much one part is worth. So if $300 is divided into 8 equal parts, or 8 equal groups, we just go 300 divided by 8, put that on your calculator, you get 37.50. So 37.50 is the value of one part. Each part, or each group, has 37.50. So how much would each person get? So Liam, he gets 3 of those parts. He gets 3 lots of 37.50, which is 112.50, whereas Oliver, he gets 5 lots of those $37.50. So that's because he got 5 parts, and he will get $187.50. So that's how much each person gets. Now, of course, we can divide it in a ratio where there are more than a few numbers. So I'll just show you that quickly. So now I'm going to show you how we divide a number in a ratio where there are more than 2 numbers in the ratio. But that's really easy. We do the same thing. So we think of each of these numbers as parts. So there are 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 parts. So there are 10 parts in total. We're going to do exactly what we just did. Find out how much one part is worth. So each part, there are 10 parts worth 600. So each part is worth 600 divided by 10, which is 60. So each part is worth 60. So we want to put it in this ratio. So one part will be worth 60, 2 parts 120, 3 parts 180, and 4 parts 240. As in the previous example, when you're dividing a quantity in a given ratio, all of the quantities should add up to the original number. And that's true here. 240 plus 180 plus 120 plus 60 does equal 600. So we know we've done something right. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.